Welcome to the Creepy Kingdom. We are all about the creepy side of theme parks, films, haunts, and everything in between. We create original films, live streams, vlogs, podcasts, and more. Hit that subscribe button to make sure that you always keep it creepy.
Now it's time to let the haunting begin.
Creepy Kingdom proudly presents
Stay Haunted.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Stay Haunted. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with my fabulous partner in crime, Ashley.
Hi.
Yay! And we're here to talk about some haunts in the Southern California region. Yay! And actually, two of our very favorites. So we're going to get started with Creep LA. Tell you all about that. That is probably one of our very top favorites. And then after that, we're going to talk about Knott's Scary Farm. Are you ready?
Ready for a treat.
Are you ready for a treat, guys? Okay. Creep LA. I'm so excited. Ashley, why don't you show everyone our little souvenir from the event? You see a pretty princess.
Well, do a little high.
Wait, hold on here. I'll take you
Okay.
away for a second. Oh, so Ashley's gonna show us what we got at the event because it was really cool. Look at you, Miss Sultry Lips.
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Sarah, I'm looking at you.
So they've done this in the past before where they had something where, didn't we have to stay quiet? I can't remember if we had to stay quiet or be blindfolded, but stay quiet, and we had to put that around our faces, right? Remember the other bandana we had?
I can't remember because we've also been blindfolded in
Yeah.
So I'm like, were we just blindfolded or were we blindfolded and like
I can't remember.
But
But they've done it in the past before where I can't remember which one it was. I think it was for lore. And they blindfolded us or covered our faces or whatever, and we got to keep these cool little creep bandanas. So we were really excited when they gave us creep masks, and they had all kinds of different faces. I think we got the coolest ones. We both got the little lips.
The coolest.
Yeah.
Things.
And they were like little jaggedy teeth ones. I love when they do that kind of stuff. That's like something you can take home with you that you get to use throughout the show.
Yeah,
so.
they're always thinking of the coolest things, like to incorporate things into their show so you don't notice, but also to make it fun for the fans and the audience intending to take home, because by giving everyone a different mask, each group is easily identifiable of, oh, this is this time slot, this is this time slot for them, but for us, we're like, we get this sexy.
We're so cute. Look, we're like the cute.
And it's keeping everyone safe in case you
I know.
got a mask.
And another great thing about Creep LA, which is put on by JFI Productions, we absolutely adore them, and everything they do is just mind-blowing. But they are also requiring vaccination, record of vaccination to attend the show, and with a handful of exceptions that would still need a negative COVID test. So I felt like they're taking the pandemic seriously, and I felt safe there. And I liked that we were masks on the whole time, unless we were, there was one place you could take photos without a mask and you weren't right next to anyone. And then if you were having a drink. So that was nice.
Yeah.
I will say.
If you've ever been to one of their events before, you'll know just it's not the same if you can't get intimate with the creeps. So I'd rather have a COVID safety and be able to be a little bit more intimate than be worried about being socially distant.
Yeah, it was worth the extra. I feel like it's worth the extra protocols in place to still get as true to like a real creep production as possible. So, and I felt like it really felt like that. And even the masks that people were wearing. They didn't really well, at this point, masks don't really distract me anymore because everyone's wearing them all the time.
Which is
But it
part of
didn't feel like it was distracting from the event. So anyway, this one is, Creep LA. It's at the Ghost Light in Los Angeles, which is actually 3 clubs. And they've taken it over and made it into like an immersive club. They're going to have different types of performers there and different events. And the one that they're opening up with is Creep LA. And it's a 75-minute about pre-show and show. So I mean, it's really like the ticket price was a little higher this year, it felt like. Well, at least than versus like earlier years of the event, but you're getting like over an hour of like solid like showtime. You're not just waiting around. They never have you just waiting in a place that's like boring and unthemed. So
100%. And, like Sarah mentioned, like we've been going since the first year of Creep, and I know that we've mentioned that a million times, but we're very proud of it. And so, it's one of those things like we obviously are going to notice a difference in price, but the groups are only 6 people and you're getting this long experience compared to what you're getting at other places. And we were a little like, okay, let's see for the price how this is going to be. But I really think after going, we both agreed like, okay.
Yeah, this is worth it. Because we were lucky enough to be invited to a media preview, but we also have tickets for the week after next. Like and we're not going to sell them or anything. Like we are insisting that we go back and now maybe dress like a little fancier.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of swanky in there. It was fun. We don't want to give you spoilers on the overall event storyline, I guess. But it starts where you're in a lounge, the actual lounge that's going to be there open for other things. It actually opens to the public at after 10 p.m. I think it might fluctuate on different nights, but so it is open to the public. It's a bar, and they have you can buy a drink, you can take photos. They encourage you to use the restroom, which we always take advantage of. And they have performers in there that if you've been to enough Creep events like we have, or just JFI in general, we're starting to recognize some of the actors, so we always get excited. We're like, oh, look who it is, But so they're kind of mingling in with you, and they start just kind of like easing you into the storyline and kind of whispering rumors and warnings, and there's a performer there, and it's just really fun. It already draws you in even when you're just kind of getting settled into the atmosphere. And go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, and if you haven't been to a Creep event and you go and you're kind of like, what did I just walk into? Because you definitely feel like you enter a different world when you enter their environments, and even the lounge scene. You're going to notice who is an actor and who is a participant based on the masks. But, engage with the actors, and it makes for a much more fun experience.
Yeah, like even us on accident, like, what's this? We started getting into someone's box that they had with them, and we were like, what's in here? And he was like, what are you doing? And it got us in the conversation with that character and what was going on and what was in the box. And
we learned a lot about the storyline.
We did. We learned a lot. It's always, there's a lot of care taken into the storyline. And then there's these actors are on point. Like all their performers, it's all this improv. They stay in character. You can ask them questions and they don't miss a beat. They answer right in character. And it's fun. You can get a little sassy with them. I feel like it's easier for us now that we've been going so many times, because it is when you first kind of get into it and they're talking to you, you're like, am I supposed to talk back? Can I ask questions? and then they make it easy. They like kind of get you to continue on, and they ask you questions, put you on the spot, which Ashley loves, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I freeze up. It's like put me in a fun situation and I'm like, yeah, I'm in it. Ask me any direct question and I'm like, ooh. Brain is completely frozen. I have no answer.
without giving anything away. There was a scene at one point where Ashley didn't know that I could see her, and she was asked a question point blank, and I could hear her fumbling over it, and I was
Yeah, I was
laughing
like,
by
I don't know
myself,
what to do.
enjoying it. It's just really fun, and this year, our friends from Murder House Productions, Aurora and Kyle, were involved. We're so proud of them. They have amazing stuff that they do with Murder House. We used to go like not close to us, drive way out to their home haunt, and then earlier this year they did Shook in their own new space in like what is that, Midtown area. So you
Which
can
blew our
see the
minds.
attention, huh?
I said, and that blew our minds
Yeah,
as it is.
exactly. And you can see that they always have great attention to detail in their haunts, and you could kind of see it there. And Creep does too. So between JFI and Murder House, like it was just mind blowing. And I've seen some of our friends that were able to attend the media nights as well, saying just like, "My mind is blown. I'm amazed. That was incredible." Like all big words like that, and we totally agree with them. So.
Yeah, 100%. Like the set design was insane, and
And
as
it's not a huge space. Because having been there before, this is like a back room area, I think.
yeah,
Um, it's not a huge space, and it felt big. Like they made it feel like it kept going and it kept going, and you kind of doubled back, and you could. There were some times where you could kind of see what was going to what you were going to come up across without it giving anything away, and it just made it intriguing. It wasn't like you were It wasn't a mistake that you saw it. It made it interesting. You're like, "What's gonna happen over there?" So, yeah.
exactly. It gave you like a little preview, like a little look into the room of like, oh my God, what's over there? Sorry, you don't get to see it right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, it just made it feel bigger. And you took the words out of my mouth. Like having been to that club before, I was like, wait, where are we? Because this feels so much bigger.
Yeah, it felt much bigger. The detail and immersion was just it's true to JFI form. It's just, not comparable. Like,
Yeah,
it's unless you're at something like Delusion, you know?
yeah.
It's just it transports you to another world, basically, and I don't know. I don't know really what else to say about my experience there that's not gonna give anything away. I can't urge you guys enough to get your tickets now. Like, don't let this sell out on you and don't miss it. If you're gonna hit an immersive haunt kind of event this season, like, please don't miss out on Creep LA. Like, I'm not kidding. And like we showed you, get a cool handy dandy like Creep mask, and that's fun too. And you have a drink and make some new friends in your 6-person group because you are going to be close to them for the next hour.
Yeah, there's no way you're not gonna have a great time.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and like Sarah had mentioned, and we dressed fun and Halloweeny for the event and comfy, but now knowing kind of the layout and what's all involved, we're like, oh, okay, well, when we go back for our paid tickets with our friends, we can dress up a little, get
Yeah,
more of
exactly.
the vibe
Yeah,
of the
you're not going to
town.
get like bloody or dirty or
Yeah,
anything like to where
so
I would still wear comfortable shoes.
yeah,
You're navigating some interesting areas and some dark places, but yeah, it's fun. You can kind of make it like a classy evening.
yeah. So again, there's no way you can't have fun.
Exactly. So yeah, tickets are you know what? I made a banner so I wouldn't forget to show you guys because I'm not sure if everyone's heard of Creep LA, so it's creepla.com. There we go. It's right there. There we go, right there. So
Oh.
get your tickets, find your 5 friends. If I don't even know actually, you know what? I don't even know if there's any slots left that have all 6 spaces left. Like, you guys gotta get on it and get your tickets.
Yeah.
And it's in the Hollywood area. Uh,
Mm.
there was street parking nearby, not a big deal. And just I would say don't even look into it too much. Like, we're gonna have a review on, I'm sure on Creepy Kingdom, and the Haunt List will be doing one. but like don't read too much into it. Just do it. That's
Yeah.
my advice to you.
Sarah and I, when we went our first year, we knew nothing about it. And we were
This is
like,
a good story. Tell that really fast.
well, I don't even know. We just showed up, but like we found it. I don't even remember how we found it. And we weren't sure if it was like sketchy or if
Yeah,
it was
we
like,
actually we drove around one time first to make sure it didn't look like actual sketchy. Like, and it
yeah,
was more like Halloween scary.
because we didn't know what it was, and it was a brand new thing. We're like, what is this? And it was in kind of like a remote area, so we're like, okay, are we going to
It
get
was like an
killed here?
industrial downtown LA area, and we were like,
Yeah. And not knowing anything about it, we just had like the time of our lives, obviously enough that we just can't stop raving about it. And every year since we've gone in, obviously, I think how did you quote
I
Creep?
said, I don't remember what I said, but it's like I can't tell you what to expect. All you can do is expect the unexpected. The Creep.
Exactly.
It's going to be high quality, but I can't tell you, like, none of the stories I can tell you about the past mean that you're going to know what's going into what you're in
Yeah.
for going into the next event.
But the best thing to do is just go in with an open mind and like you're gonna have fun. You're
Yeah.
gonna love it.
Yep. And, I will say for some people like that don't like getting separated too much, that's happened a lot in previous shows where Ashley and I saw each other like twice the whole show and we were like, hi, because we were off running around doing
Exactly.
different stuff. That was at a wake that one year. This year, like there's a couple maybe break off kind of things, but if you're worried about that, like you're gonna be fine. Like you'll mostly be with your friends. So yay.
Yay, Creep.
Yay, Creep. Yay. Good job. I can't wait to go again. I'm so excited.
I know it's gonna be fantastic.
Eee. Okay, so moving on, we actually just last night at the time of this recording went to Knott's Scary Farm. First time of the season. And well, I guess I can get rid of this Creep LA banner. Whoops. Yeah, so Knott's Scary Farm. We went on a Sunday night and early in the season, which has always worked pretty well for us in the past as far as like attendance. In 2019, I tried going on like a Saturday night in October, and I was like at one point like I had tears in my eyes, and we left because I was like, it's too crowded and I can't get in any mazes because I was just general. And we also, by the way, we went general admission to this, so this is all going to be our perspective as general public. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah.
Anyway, we started our evening entering the park and going to the right because we were trying to make our way to the back of the park to the brand new maze, which is Mesmer. So we started in Pumpkin Eater. Ashley, you want to tell me a little bit about what you thought of Pumpkin Eater this year?
I loved Pumpkin Eater. And I was first off too, can I just say I was so happy to be at Knott's.
Yes.
And maybe I'll get hit on the wrist for saying this, depending who's listening or whose opinions. But Knott's is just my favorite of all the parks that do Halloweeny things. And I think that us going to it last of the parks we went to, I actually prefer it because I actually said it when we were out. I was like,
yeah.
What a treat. Like it literally felt like a treat, just entering a full Halloween everything versus like Halloween-y areas, like you really feel transported when you go to Knott's. So
I totally agree. Almost every inch of like the lighting and atmosphere is tailored to the immersion for the Halloween event. It's not just this area has spooky sounds and some green lights. Like it's the whole, you can walk through places that don't even have like a scare zone or a maze and it still looks awesome. Like you still are in it. So
you can tell that the people at Knott's really understand Halloween and they're like genuine Halloween lovers.
Yes. Yeah, because it's not just the scares either. It's like just like the atmosphere and the feeling and like the celebration of it. It really they capture it there. It kind of makes me think of, like, on a very small scale comparison, Coffin Creek makes me feel that way
Yeah,
out in Corona area, where it's just like a fun celebration of Halloween, and it's like that's like a little baby version of like what Knott's is doing on like a big scale. So,
totally,
and
totally.
I also loved Pumpkin Eater this year. I feel like I think I end up liking it more and more each year I see it. Like, I just get
Yeah.
excited for it. Now I get like I started out, I was like, "Yeah, this is cool." And then the next year I was like, "I'm kinda pumped for Pumpkin Eater." And, like, I love when you go into the pumpkin and the sound design in that maze. Like,
It's so good.
it's so gross. And it's in an awesome gross way. It's not like an overkill. It's more like it makes your skin crawl kind of, which is like a good thing, I guess, if you're,
You feel like you're
if
in a
you're us.
pumpkin.
Wait, what?
You just feel like you're in a pumpkin.
Yeah, but in like a pumpkin with like bugs
Yeah.
and gross stuff.
Yes,
That's
like a rotting pumpkin.
yeah, rotting pumpkin. And I like the heartbeat sound kind of thing. It kind of really drives you through it. And we had a great experience too because we weren't crammed in with a bunch of people, so we were kind of walking through at like a leisurely pace, like really enjoying it, taking it in, and it felt like the scare actors were on fire. They were excited to be there. I don't know. I love Pumpkin Eater.
Me too.
And
And if you're not familiar with Pumpkin Eater, it's like a play on the rhyme, the Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. Like
I was like, I don't remember the rest of
little,
that.
I
That's the
gotta
part I
remember
remember.
the rest of it. But like, what a fun, like, creepy turn.
Yeah, like kind of
Mm,
icky, really.
yeah, yeah, it's great. But yeah, it was just so good. And I found myself too, like when we went in, all the scenery is so amazing and the lighting is so amazing. And like just everything's great. That I just was like, oh, I want to take photos. And then I was like, no, I don't want to take photos. I don't want to
I'm
miss
just gonna
anything.
enjoy
I
it.
want to look at
Yeah,
everything. Um,
and you know what I like about that maze is you can look up and it's still
yeah,
themed. That's something that's
exactly.
really fun about it. You can really like take in your surroundings and not be taken out of it. So
100%. And I feel like, and that's again like another reason for me why like Knott's is one of my favorite. A lot of other places, I have no problem like taking photos while I'm looking around.
mhm.
And with Knott's, I'm like, no,
I'm just gonna enjoy it.
I just want to enjoy it. I just want to experience it, which I think like says something,
Yeah, it really does. It's usually like a pretty solid storyline throughout. It's not just like the wow factor big scenes. Like they really care about the immersion there.
Yeah.
And a big deal too compared to some others mazes we've gone through this season at other places. It's like that sound design and the lighting and the set design. It's like they are not skimping on anything. And sound design makes a big difference. And we've been through some mazes where there's just no audio, and it's like, oh, okay, I mean that's cool, but like imagine if there was audio there. Imagine if they were kind of leading how they want you to feel with the sound. So anyway, Pumpkin Eater does that. Turned out we forgot where it would dump us out right into the scare zone, the hollow, which was perfect for us to continue making our way. And that's one of my favorite areas, just as far as like besides Ghost Town, I guess, is just like that area in the hollow when you're rounding the corner there and it's just all lit up really pretty and there's trees and it's just like, I mean, it's Camp Snoopy, but they make it look like this cool like Halloween spooky town at
Yeah.
night. I just think that's so fun. So we made our way over to what has been one of our very favorite mazes the last couple of years, Dark Ride, Castle of Chaos. And I don't know. I'm a little bummed that James wasn't able to join us tonight because I feel like we would have some conflicting views of our experience this year with it because he was James went and Kayla, editor in chief of Creepy Kingdom, they went on the media preview night. So they had their Fright passes, and I mean, it's a different experience. We got kind of shoved through it, and it was a little bit disappointing. I feel like well, we'll get to Mesmer in a minute, but the 2 of the mazes that I was most excited for ended up being not my best experiences, but not because of the actual maze, because of the way it was being coordinated, like the line was being coordinated.
Yeah.
Because my husband was with us last night, and he had someone literally stepping on his heels the whole time. They just shoved a huge group in with us, and it wasn't even that they, some people get scared and they rush, and so they end up right behind you or something, or you end up right on the people in front of you. It was like we already started out like that. So I don't know. That's probably my major complaint, because Dark Ride is themed as a dark ride. If you haven't seen that, it's just the concept is out of this world. It's
Yeah.
like a fair dark ride, and it's broken down and kind of decrepit in places, and the audio keeps cutting out, which is one of my favorite parts, when it's like
Yeah.
like and it's like try to catch on again. I think that detail is amazing. And you follow the tracks for a while, and then you see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and there's some sketchy stuff going on. And it's a mix of like scare actors and animatronics, and then animatronics that are supposed to look like animatronics from like a dark ride. So they're like, meep, 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 like all messed up. Oh my gosh. Just the theme overall is, I think, genius.
I think they have some of the best use of animatronics at that.
Yes.
In the mazes for that park, like they just use them so well because they're so scary. Versus, it's so easy to have animatronics look cheesy, and they use them in a way where they are what they are, but they're creepy.
Yeah, they're really creepy.
Yeah.
And you know what? I know you've only been one time before, but it kind of reminds me of stuff in the Haunted Mansion, because they have Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. They have animatronics, and they're not terrifying, but somehow they always get me. They pop up and I'm just like, ooh, and it's like, it's the kind where it's like, it's an animatronic, but it still catches you off guard. And that's
Yeah.
what I liked about some of the stuff there. It's like you can tell it on purpose looks like an animatronic, but also they have them on like a rotation that's like not like expected, I guess, because there was one that kind of just it like kind of fell forward at one point, and I was like, whoa. And I feel like that maze got me a lot of times. You witnessed that. So
Yes. My favorite. Sarah running and screaming.
it's okay. I'm gonna spoiler this thing because it's not a spoiler, because you know what? It scared me in the past. This has been around a few years. The chairperson.
Okay, I forgot about the chairperson.
I forgot about it until it scared the crud out of me.
I like saw it as it was scaring you, and then instead of being scared, I was like overcome with laughter of the experience of seeing it scaring you.
It got me so good. It got me really,
It's
really
so
good.
It's so perfect.
It's
Like,
so
what a
perfect.
great- yeah.
So they have like a lot of fun. I feel like they really thought out of the box when they made Dark Ride. And I feel like the big scene at the end was a little anticlimactic. It felt like it was lacking in scare actors, but I feel like we've been seeing that kind of all season in some places, just because it's hard to employ. They're really looking for people right now. So I can understand if it's a little more sparse than previous years, and I'm okay with that. We still had a really nice time. So Dark Ride, once I got over being grumpy and conga lined through, the maze is still amazing. Like, I still enjoyed it. I had a great time.
And it's gorgeous.
It really is. It's like I want to take some of the elements in there and like put them in my house.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
not the terrifying ones.
Yeah, not the spooky
cool
ones.
ones.
But like the color scheme and like the glowy, like I don't know, I just love the way it looks. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. So another maze that I love the way it looked was this year's brand new maze, Mesmer, Sideshow of the Mind. Brand new. If you guys have been previous years, it is where Shadowlands was, which was one of my older favorite mazes. It's basically like, I guess let me go back and find like the little description of it, because it was pretty cool. It's cool because it's, in a way, it might feel like a little disjointed in some parts, but that's okay, because it's basically the human mind. So here's a little description about it. Within the canvas tent lies the secret of the most potent force in the universe, the human mind. Give in and succumb to the hypnotist Mesmer as his sinister sideshow as it pries on your hidden fears. So it's all like a mishmash of like your messed up brain making scary stuff. And it says, release your inner thoughts and descend into a world of madness, torture, and eerie enlightenment in this haunted maze. So it did that. It did all that.
I
It,
loved it.
it was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the fact that I was like so excited, like new maze, yay!
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like the sound design was incredible.
I
Um,
think that was like one of the standout sound design ones, aside from like, I just really love what's going on in Pumpkin Eater too. The
yeah,
second you get into Mesmer, he's basically telling you how you're feeling. He's just telling, because he's, a hypnotist. He's telling you, and then you're kind of like, wow, I do feel like that. I do feel like that. He's telling me, and I feel like that. And it's like this kind of like, almost like panicky feeling of like, they still made it seem like a hypnotist was taking control of you. That was like, and how are you're doing that in a walkthrough maze? That's pretty amazing.
and what a cool concept to try and make a haunted maze that gets you like from the inside out, but then has outside elements coming at you. Like how crazy!
Yeah, it's super crazy, and I loved some of the illusions in there. It made me think about some of the stuff that I really liked in Shadowlands. Maybe it's just a lucky
Yeah,
spot for a maze because there was just, again, some really out of the box scares and illusions. Like, I don't think this is too big of one. Like, there's a tightrope walking part, and I was like, this is so cool. Like,
yeah.
and the only times I felt like that I wasn't super immersed in it is because I was overthinking, like, wow, that's cool that they did this. So that's just me appreciating it. Um, I loved it. There was a couple parts that were, I feel like somehow we ended up around a lot of obnoxious groups this going through this time. And
Yeah.
there was one hallway where the fabric was like flowing in the wind and you could see like the other room and the people's legs and stuff. And I was like, oh no. But that was like a split second. That's like a really nitpicky
Yeah,
thing that honestly they'll probably address before the end of the season even. Like,
yeah,
oh, it's breezy right here. Let's tack this down. No big
yeah, but
deal.
that was the only maze that even happened in.
It was definitely, yeah, because it's kind of like out to the side of the park too. Trying to think. Be warned in this maze. They do some really great. What was the term we were thinking of for it? When they make you look one way and they get you the other way. Because they did
Oh, like kinda like a diversion.
diversion.
Yeah.
This maze is really good at diversions, and it got me like
Multiple times.
multiple times. And I think I was very entertaining to my friends that I was there with because
She was.
and I was like appreciating. So I was like, ooh, ah. So it was great. They did a great job. I loved it. And I love the concept. And it's kind of reminds me of they're fun. Those two right next to each other, Dark Ride and Mesmer, are just like these fun carnival, like you said, pretty colors, just like really appealing to look at. Just like it's exciting. Those are really fun together. So thumbs up on the new maze.
Yeah.
Definitely check out Mesmer. That was definitely, I think it was one of my favorites of the night. So,
Yeah, I agree.
and
Like,
then around there is also the Carnival scare zone, and those clowns are out of their dang minds. They just, what about the one you liked, Ashley?
what was the instrument again the guy was
The
playing?
trombone.
Yeah, there was a clown with a trombone just walking around like, "Brown, brown," like scaring people.
Oh, at people.
I was like, "What?"
I was like, cool. I didn't. That's cool. You know how to play the trombone.
I wonder
Too.
if he like auditioned with that. He's like, "Well, I can be a clown that plays this
With the trombone.
with the trombone."
Mm.
So it was
Ow.
so cool.
I
You
bumped
okay?
I have a new nose
Oh,
piercing. Here, hold on. See? Me. And I
you're gonna
bumped
have
it.
to get like little balls that are like little pumpkins and put them in here.
Ashley! I have to wait for like half a year for it to heal. But yeah, next season, little pumpkins.
Yeah.
Look like I have little orange pumpkin snots coming out. But anyway, yeah, Carnival, they're out of their minds. They're out of their minds.
Yeah, they're crazy. It's always like all the scare zones are great, but I think Carnival is like one of the more like fun scare zones.
Well, also, I think it's more fun for me because I'm not really afraid of clowns, like
Yeah,
in
same.
particular. Um,
If you're afraid of
unless they're
clowns, don't go there, baby.
yeah, don't go there if you're afraid of clowns, or like go on the outskirts and skirts and watch other people get scared. But I just have so much fun in there because these guys, they all these scare actors are like so creative with their scares, and they're sassy and they improv and they just have so much fun doing it. So it's always like really enjoyable being in there and watching them. And also it's really fun because they'll come after the teens, like the sassy, we're not scared of you teens, and they still get them. And that I always enjoy seeing that too.
Yeah, it's a
So
good time.
yeah, you can't be too cool for school there. They'll get you. So what was the next maze we went to? That would be Origins, the Curse of Calico. We waited a while for this. Granted, this was a pretty empty night overall and compared to what nights we've been to before. Most so far, the mazes that we talked about were like 10 minutes tops. 15?
They were under 15.
Under 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And Pumpkin Eater we just walked into. So awesome. So we waited a while for Origins. This was getting obviously a little further into the evening and more people were there. I don't know.
Even with Origins, I don't think we waited more than like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This is one that dives into some of the OG Knott stuff. It was new in 2019, I think. And it's really fun. It's really well done. And there was no one in the big payoff scene. There's supposed to be a stunt scene.
We've been having bad luck.
We had bad luck with like, this happened at Red's Revenge at Six Flags at Fright Fest. There was no Red.
No one's there.
There was no witch here. There's supposed to be a huge stunt. Like, there's a huge area all up around you where there's supposed to be stunts going on, and there wasn't even a mannequin in a costume. We've had bad luck. So, Origins, my experience was a letdown. I still like the maze. I just happened to walk in. We happened to walk in at a off time, right?
Yeah.
I still love the maze. I love when you're in Calico, like outside, or it looks like you're outside and walk into another building. It looks amazing. I've been going to Knott's for quite a while, but not nearly as long as some of these people that have, it's been around forever. And there's a lot of fun Easter eggs in there that older fans are just gonna like just eat up and love. So I don't pretend to know all of like the Knott's Calico lore, but I know that's really exciting for people too. But yeah, like I said.
And also for this maze in particular, if you do have to wait in line, it's a fun line to wait in because the whole line.
Because I got a new boyfriend.
And also Sarah got a new boyfriend. Another scare actor in love with Sarah.
But it was cool. It'd be there's like the tomb, like the graveyard area, and there's like a kind of like a shadows going on that you can watch, like kind of tell you the beginning of the story. There are people looking for Sarah Marshall, like the sheriff, I don't know, deputy. There's a handful of people in character there. So we weren't the line, like I'm saying, it was longer, but we were enjoying ourselves still. We were having a good time. We were like taking in the sights and interacting with the actors, and it was fun and it went fast.
Yeah, it did go really fast.
Yeah. So overall, like I would say great maze. Not the best experience. I know I'm going to see it again, and hopefully I will get that full-blown scene and be excited like I was last time I saw it.
Yay.
So, yeah. Waxworks.
I love Waxworks.
I love the concept of it.
Yeah.
I liked what was that? How was it just called House of Wax or whatever? Is that what it's called? That old movie?
I
Not
think
old, but
the one
I
with
love that.
Paris Hilton.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I think it was called House of Wax.
I love that one. So makes me think of that. I love the intro into it. I like how it is just like telling you it sounds like the marketing pitch video for like when the wax museum isn't all, you know, jacked up. And it's just like, come do this and see that and blah blah blah. And the voiceover is like really loud. You can hear it. Like you can hear where the maze is. You're like, the maze is over there. I'm gonna go to it. And I just think it's really fun that they get you started out. They just get you really into the mood for what the theme is early on, and they have like the cheesy like promo video playing, and I just think it's a lot of fun. And this is a nitpicky thing. One of my other favorite scenes from 2019 when I saw Waxworks, the actor wasn't in there. And then there were two people working on it in the back. So we walked around and they had like little masks on, but
Yeah,
they were like obviously like people just like working on like a malfunction, just like standing there like digging
in,
under, and
one
like
of the
light
big
was coming out from
scenes.
under it. Huh?
In one of
What
the
were you
big
saying?
scenes.
Yeah, one of the big scenes. And I was like, you couldn't hold the line for 15 minutes because there was no line. We walked on. The
Yeah.
only reason there was a line is because they hold the line to let people come out of the maze. So we had to wait briefly while people were coming out of the maze before they let us keep going. So it was like maybe a 3-minute wait.
Yeah.
So I was like,
no,
you couldn't
no
hold
wait.
the maze for 15 minutes and
Fix your
fix
issue.
the scene instead of being like in the scene, like we're fixing the scene.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're trying to be discreet, but the light's shining on us, and we were like, oh hi.
Hello, workers. Are you part of the scene?
Yeah. Anyway, back to like nothing against the maze, just the experiences we happened upon, and I feel like some of it could have been addressed a little differently than it was, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe and this is like we're still pretty early in the season, so hopefully if something like that happens again, they'll say like, hey, you know what, let's just like we'll close it down for like a few minutes, see if you can get it figured out. If not, we'll reopen it and keep it going. You know, we don't want to cause too much of a delay. I don't know. That's how I would do it. If I ran the world, that's how I would have done it.
Well, especially when there's like no line.
I know there was no line. So we were like, all right,
Yeah.
cool.
But
Remember that when that scene was cool? Like
I love the concept of waxworks. I'm someone who thinks wax museums are like, I love them, but I also think they're like incredibly creepy. So
oh my gosh, like you don't even have to be going into the dungeon part of like some of these wax museums to be like terrified.
yeah, exactly. It's just like, this is creepy. So I think that's amazing. And then there are a few scenes in that maze that use like such cool pairing of like actual physical props and projections.
And audio. The whole
the
trio.
combo of it. When you go through, there is a really cool scene with bees that you'll see what we're talking about. That you're just like, are there bees in here?
Yeah,
Are there
it's like straight up
bees
like,
in
are there
here?
bees?
That is done with an incredible mix of what we're talking about. So like there's some really, really, really cool details that they do
Yeah.
all throughout the mazes, but like we notice specifically in this maze.
Yeah, I do feel like it's like there's a lot of attention to detail and just some really creative and visually appealing stuff in there where it's like, yeah, it's scary, but also like that's really cool. Or
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's grotesque. It's like a grotesque piece of art, you know? So
Yeah, totally.
yeah, Waxworks.
Well, and I found a button that we weren't sure. Like there was just a button next
Yes!
to it, and we're like, is that a prop or is that just a button? And when you press it because something happens.
Yep. Press it and listen.
Press it.
Yeah, that was a new discovery because I do not remember that. It might have been there and I just didn't know. I don't know. You were feeling pretty daring, like
Look for
going
the
around
red
touching
Look
buttons.
for the red button.
Was it red or green?
It was red.
Oh, it was red? Okay.
Yeah. And then sanitize your hands.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay. The next one we went through, I think I have them in order, was what I will say was definitely my favorite experience of the night, the depths. This is a oceanic maze, which you would think maybe would be less like might not be the scariest thing to some people. Some people are scared of the ocean for sure, but my husband's afraid of sharks, so that was exciting for him. And it was the scare actors and the team on the depths when we went were on fire. They were on fire. They were the ones I loved it because the miners in the beginning were not like jumping out too aggressively because they're just the miners. They're like, "Hey, what up?" And they're kind of like just bringing you in character, like kind of surprise you, but they're like, "Oh, it's kind of more like a what are you doing here?" So I think that's so fun that they're like in character and it's not just like every single person's in a costume who's like, "Boo," they're like, "No, this is our part of the story." Um, it's disorienting. I love like some of the rooms that just they're it's like hard to walk through because you're like, whoa. Uh, it's just so pretty and so different because I'm not used to seeing like water, ocean,
Yeah.
kraken, siren themed mazes.
It's
So
definitely super original and has just some of the coolest overall effects.
yeah, and
Um,
it just keeps in once as you get through the mine into like the depths, uh all the scenes make sense together. They flow really well. It's got a great flow. It doesn't take you out like cuz even some mazes sometimes it's like they have a great theme and all the rooms match in the theme, but sometimes like the segues or transitions seem like a little choppy. This one I feel like you walk through it and it makes sense. It just feels like a really good flow and it kind of feels like never ending. Like you keep coming up to like new big scenes and you're like, "Wow, I was kept thinking
yeah.
like, and when's the Kraken gonna be? Because there's a really cool scene at one point, and I kept thinking it was next, and there was like, no, there's this other scene. Oh, there's this other scene. Um, they did some really great diversion stuff and got me. I really had fun. This is the one that James likes to tell the story about, like, because it was the first maze that James went through with Kayla and I at the same time um, back when we all went together in 2019. And we just were he like at one point he realized he was kind of walking by himself. He's like, "Where are Sarah and Kayla?" And turned around and we were just holding each other. Like we were just like clutching each other and inching forward and screaming at everything. Oh my gosh, and they do the laser scene. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Which
it's
we've seen
amazing.
done before at things like the Queen Mary and a couple other places. And they just do it like perfection.
Here's why I'm always impressed with their laser scene. Because when the laser scenes first started, like when people first started doing
Being
them,
like, oh my gosh, this works great. Let's do
yeah,
it
like, oh my
everywhere.
god. Remember like when those first came out and we were like, oh, what is this? When everyone
Oh,
started doing them. When they first started, it was like full laser, and you like couldn't see it all. And it was like terrifying. But now, probably for like safety purposes and stuff, I feel like, and especially not, it's not like full laser, it's like half laser. Like you can
yeah.
see through it for the most part, but then you can usually see the actors. But somehow here it's half laser and you still can't see the actors.
It's like, I can see where I'm going, how to not bump into anything, but how did this actor pop out and almost murder me? I
Yeah,
have
like
no
how did I
idea.
not see you when I can see through the laser?
I feel like they have a really good grasp of what's in the room and what people's sight lines are and what they're looking at. Like,
Yeah.
they really take into consideration the scene that they're working in. It's great.
Like I saw
We
someone pop up and scare you and I'm like, ha ha. And then someone pops up and scared me and I'm like,
You're like,
ah.
"Ah." Yeah, the depths, A plus effort, experience, maze. I had a great time and no complaints on the depths. It was just amazing. And I know I loved it last time. I didn't expect it to be my very favorite of the night. I feel like the depths and Pumpkin Eater really came through for me, where I was not expecting it because I thought Dark Ride was gonna be my best favorite experience. Like I said, this isn't necessarily the mazes, like the quality of the mazes. It's just the whole package put together and how I felt about it when I got out of it. So speaking of that, moving on to Paranormal Inc. This is their last year of Paranormal Inc. They're retiring it. And I think it's probably time to be retired.
Mm,
I, in my personal opinion, which I think Ashley and I are on the same page on, it started out great and just like never before seen, right?
yeah.
And then I liked when they added in like there's a hospital scene, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me I mean, I kind of feel like, well, to the point where, Ashley, when you opened up into that scene, remember you backed
Yeah,
up because you,
I had a freeze moment. I was like, did I just walk into an office? Am I like in the wrong
yeah, and not in like a,
area?
oh, I'm surprised by it. It was more like a, oh, am I going the wrong way?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think it fits, but I love it so much that I don't care, you know,
Even if the first room had a light flickering,
or
I
something.
think it was the right room.
Yeah, because it was just straight up like, hello, we're on a different set now.
Welcome to the office.
Welcome. Oh, you're a scare actor. Okay, cool. I'm not like interrupting a business meeting or something.
No,
Like,
I was like, wait, where?
I could see because you turned to me like, and I was like, no, it's it. Go. You were like, what?
I know. I'm also like half asleep. I'm like, wait, where are we?
Where are we? It was that was fun. I love that scene. I will say, and like I don't want to get too negative because I was also in a bit of a mood about it. They shoved way too many people in there right now. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Masks are optional if you're vaccinated at Knott's. And I know that's an Orange County thing. I know the business still could actually make the decision to make them mandatory inside, and I think that would be cool. That's just my opinion again. 40 people. I actually tried to ask like the security guard that was putting people in. I said, "Okay, can we wait? Do we have to go shoved up and with those people? Can we wait for the next group?" He's like, "No, 40 at a time, 40 at a time." And I was like, "All right, cool. We'll all be shoved on top of each other." They cut the initial scene. It feels really confusing. And I can't imagine for people that this is their first year of Paranormal Inc. if they have any idea what's going on in the beginning. We
Yeah.
know because we've been going since the first year, and we know the storyline, and we know what's kind of been edited out and cut and changed, and so we get the concept still. But if this was my first year, I'd be like, what is going on? I can't see anything. There's all these tall people standing around me. I'm shoved in this room, and then all of a sudden it's like, look up. Oh, cool. Go. And you're like, where? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like you said, the initial storyline made sense because, and I understand it was probably a bit long.
Yeah,
and
they
causing
after
long-
a season they realized, okay, we have to make cuts and changes
Yeah,
because
that
it's
was,
taking too
don't
long.
get me wrong, it was amazing. So it's like,
Yeah.
of course, you're like, why
It
is
was
that
really
any shorter? It's
Yeah,
so
don't change it. It was beautiful as it was.
Yeah. And you know, for those of you who don't know, basically it's like it's similar to like a Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or one of those shows.
Yeah,
where
you're
it's like,
we're following
Yeah.
a paranormal investigation team.
exactly. It's like you go in, they've been picking up some signals, and there's a whole backstory involved, and then they, you know, you're making contact. But the issue now is it's like, you know, you get that you need to cut that story, but now there's no backstory about making any contact. And
All of a sudden, there's just this ghost in the
Yeah.
like the little receptor
It's
thing
kinda
that's just
like-
like ah, and people are like,
It's like,
and they're
"Hey,
yelling
we're-"
at you to get into the room the whole time.
Yeah,
So it's like,
"Hey, we're touching base with so and so. Hey, so and so. Oh no, the computer screen broke. Oh my god, what's happening?" And it's like, what is happening? I have no
Yeah.
idea because there's literally no context to what's happening.
I'm still
And then
confused because
there's-
you were yelling at me to fill in the empty space
Yeah.
in the room.
And there's a big like cool scare where you should be looking up.
A
where-
stunt scare.
big
I mean,
stunt-
that's really impressive. Like that's cool.
Where when the storyline, when the narrative was in there, it made sense that you know to look up. But because they've cut so much out, you don't know to look up. So
Unless you already know.
no one even sees the stunt scare until it's already happening, and you miss the big like bam of it.
You missed
So
the
it's
scare
just
part of
like,
it.
okay, well, what's the point then? You know, like it. So yeah, it's just gotten a little like, ugh, you know.
It's gone downhill as they have tried to make it work, I'm sure, with like line times. It was a longer line of the evening, even though, like I said, lines were really short overall. But it's that little pre-show thing. It takes time. I didn't like being shoved in there with that many people. It did make me pretty uncomfortable, and I think it's fine. It's retiring. And I'm glad that they're not keeping it too long to where it really loses what it was when it first started.
Yeah.
Because the concept was great and it was a lot of, like I said, never before seen elements to it. So goodbye, Paranormal Inc. It was nice knowing you, and rest well, and I can't wait to see what we get there next. Our last maze of the evening was Dark Entities.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, my first year I ever saw Dark Entities, I did not like it. Had a lot of opinions. I walked through it not by myself, but like I just walked through it freely, and that's when you know something's not that scary because I'm a big baby.
It was
So
a big thing for Sarah to just be like, you know what? I don't need to hold anyone's arm.
I'm just gonna walk. Like like what's that?
There weren't even really any scare actors in it the first year, right?
No, there was like
Yeah.
there was no place for the scare actors. They didn't they made the maze not giving the scare actors anywhere to work with.
Yeah.
And then the next year they had weird alien bug.
The next year they added a ton of scare actors. They embraced the alien takeover, and we were just like, yeah. But the concept of the alien came off as like goofy and cheesy and funny instead of like scary. So it just didn't translate. So this year, those aliens were not there.
My favorite year of Dark Entities this year. Yeah. I went in expecting to not care. And I got some good scares. And I felt like they paid more attention to some of the sound design, maybe. I don't know. It felt like it just made a little more sense.
There was more fog. It was a little bit more vibey.
Yeah, they definitely focused on the vibe. I always liked the little like robot animatronics because they were freaky as hell, like all years. So I was pleasantly surprised. And after going through Paranormal Inc., which I was kind of like, all right. And then I was a little surprised to go through Dark Entities and have enjoyed myself the way I did. So I just like, you know what? This whole evening was not what I expected as far as what I thought I was going to like and not like and what I thought was going to happen. Scenes I thought I was excited for let me down. Scenes I had never seen built me up, made me excited. So all around it was a great night. I just was like, I definitely couldn't have predicted like my favorite mazes and experiences of the evening.
Yeah, same. I was just like, even trying to recall when I was like recalling back, it almost like, not like it all seemed like a blur, but I just know like overall I had a fun time and I know my highlights. And yeah, I think it was just like, I feel like normally I'm like, this is the specific thing that I loved, and this is the specific thing that I hated.
I feel like it was kind of like a little bit too of like, we're a little out of practice right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember back to 2 years ago, man. That's hard.
And I feel like, but yeah, I feel like this time I was just like, yay, I had fun.
I feel like it was also, we had to do like a little prepping to figure out we were talking on the way home, like, what did we think about this stuff? Because I feel like a little bit, we were a little bit taken over by just the fact to be like, yay, we're at Knott's, we're at Scary Farm again. We're doing something Halloween. We're out in public. There's mazes and there's fun and there's food and there's boysenberry beer. And it was just part of my review, if like I hadn't taken the time to think of it, would have just been like, we had fun.
Yeah. Like definitely go to Not Scary Farm.
Yes. Just go.
Yeah.
And also bang for your buck. Like that's 8 mazes there. And we paid $50 a ticket. Because if you buy them ahead of time right now, they're really reasonable. So it's less than $10 a maze. And that's not all there is. There's still the scare zones. There's scare zones we didn't talk about. The brand new one this year is the Goring 20s, which is over by the Walter Knott Theater.
Yeah.
Where Pup It Up is. And we happened to be going over there to Pup It Up. And I guess I just didn't even like I said, also I was trying not to let my phone battery die, and there was no physical maps this year, so it was all on your phone. I felt like I just kind of was like trying to remember how to do stuff to a degree. I think we really did a good angle as far as like the way we made our way around the park, but by the time I happened upon the Goring 20 scare zone, I was like, oh yeah, that's the brand new scare zone. What if we had missed this? And we got there right when there was a live band and dancers on a balcony. It was so cool.
Yeah.
I loved it. and it wasn't so much scary, I would say, as just like really fun. And the scare actors were really interactive. Like I was waiting for Ashley to go to the restroom, and some lady came up and just started asking me about my day and what I'd been up to, and I was having a fabulous time, and it was just really fun. They stayed in character, and like, the live band and the dancers, that was cool. I kind of wish that I had known about. I'm glad we happened upon it when we did, because I don't feel like I've seen, like, a lot of pictures or, like, video of it, and some of
Yeah.
my friends were like, "Oh, yeah, Goring 20s was cool." And I was like, "Did you see the dancers?" And they're like, "No." It's like, "Good, we lucked out, I guess."
Yeah, I think there must be like little secret things going on there. And I think we went there at a pop in time because there were
Yeah,
like a
'cause it was
lot
poppin'.
of actors and a lot of people. And I definitely got the vibe of just like, I just want to hang out here. This is fun.
Yeah, it was
You
just
know?
fun. It was like you said, poppin'. It was definitely poppin'. And that's when we went to this was at the end of the night, we went to Puppet Up. Just don't miss Puppet Up. It's not
Yeah,
really scary, but
but
it's
it's
definitely funny
incredibly entertaining.
for mature audiences only.
If you like puppets and if you like improv
And
and
you like naughty stuff.
you like naughty stuff, yeah, go. You're absolutely gonna love it. And it's better to like don't try and figure out what it is. Just go.
Just go. Just go unless you're a party pooper. If you're a party pooper, don't go. If you like to have fun, go to Puppet Up.
I was
Go we
literally just gonna say, if you like fun, go to
Yeah.
pub.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
If you like fun, go. Uh, yes, it was so fun, and you get to sit down, and that's nice. So we went to the last show, which when we went, it was the last show was at 11:30 p.m. And that was great. It was like our last thing of the evening. We just kind of relaxed and chuckled a lot, chortled, giggled, all that stuff.
Yeah.
We
So
need to
good.
backtrack a little bit to dun da da da. Probably my main highlight of the night was seeing the Haxons, the band, perform multiple times at the Carnival du Grotesque stage, which is where the hanging used to be. The Haxons, if you don't know, are probably going to be your new favorite Halloween spooky band. Ash Costello from New Year's Day and Count D, also known as Piggy D, from Rob Zombie. They're a duo and they're amazing. And they do some cover songs, and they do some of their really awesome original spooky Halloween songs. Um, the shows they're every hour, starting at 8, I think. And so basically where were we? Over by Dark Ride? I think we just got out of Dark Ride, and I could hear them, and I was like, "Oh, let's go by and watch for a second," because we had been told to go to the 9 p.m. show. So we watched a couple songs, walked around, caught their 9 p.m. set, saw them again when we were walking over to Puppet Up, I think. It was so much fun. The crazy hooligan clowns from Carnival were over there dancing, shaking their rumps. They were getting everyone else to dance with them, and like it was really fun. It was wild. It was just wild, and we had such a great time. I was drinking a boysenberry beer and dancing around, and it just really set the mood. Again, Knott's just is the whole park is setting the mood for Halloween.
They yeah, the clowns were basically like the hype crew for them.
They were getting people
Like,
to come closer and doing silly dance moves.
what a cool interaction. Like, we're this amazing band and our hype crew is clowns.
Scary clowns.
Scary clowns.
Scary,
Yeah.
crazy clowns.
Also, if possible, we should definitely insert video footage of you dancing with the clowns and or some of the video footage I have of the Haxons performing and you singing along because I feel like everyone would appreciate that.
I was having a really good time. Okay?
No,
I was
I
having
think
a really
it was
good
great.
time. I was, though. I really was. Like, I was truly They've only played one show before ever, and it was the
Yeah.
Viper Room in Los Angeles, and I went to that. And now they're doing this residency. They played this first weekend, they played Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But now the rest of the season, they're playing every Friday and Saturday night. So if you want to catch them, make sure you're going on a Friday or Saturday. And they're amazing. So check them out on Spotify too. I'm just a fan. Yeah, that was amazing. So highlight of the night for me. Don't miss it. Have a little dance party, drink a little boysenberry beer, or they have benches over there. Go eat a funnel cake and enjoy the show. There's lots of ways to enjoy it. Wrapping up the scare zones. I know we talked about the Hollow, Goring 20s, Forsaken. We didn't talk about Forsaken Lake. Forsaken Lake is, I don't know. This is the thing. I don't know the names of the rides at Knott's because I only go during Scary Farm. But it's it's like it's in the lake area by the lake. It makes sense. I just love the colors there. I love all the fog. And that one is best like to go through when it's dark. That one is just like totally, it's pretty when it's lighter because we had a previous year hit it earlier in the night. It's so pretty at night. It's so fun at night. And it's like really, really foggy. And they really, I don't know, they go hard. They're like really coming after us. And then we had, we did a little photo shoot with I don't know, the guy with the lamp.
Yeah.
Not the one by the train, the other one. The one over for Forsaken
Came
Lake.
over and lit our photo for us.
Yeah. That was funny. Kind of like literally just walked up and held up the light. Didn't say anything. And then when we were done, he just walked away. We're like, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Well, thank you, sir.
Made for a good photo shoot. So that one, and then the iconic Ghost Town Streets. I don't think you could do Knott's Scary Farm and miss it. If you did miss it, it would be a bad idea because that's where like a lot of the sliders are. It's where some of the OG performers, like the Bride, and just different amazing, like top tier scare actors are hanging out to terrify you. Also, I usually do a shuffle in there instead of a full speed walk. I do the try not to smash my face into a random person I don't know shuffle. Most of the videos I got in that area are me overdubbed by me saying, "I can't see. Oh my gosh, it's so foggy. Ah, look how foggy. I can't see anything." And I was like, "Cool, Sarah." Watching the footage later, like, I get the point, Sarah. Thanks for narrating over all of that.
Like just based on that area, I'm so curious. Like, Knott's, how much like in a day do you spend on fog?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What are your fog juice prices? Like,
it's so worth it. Like, are you kidding?
we should figure out how to ask them. Maybe we'll ask James. He might know someone that he can ask. How much fog juice do you use in an evening?
We are reporting on your fog usage.
Your fog juiceage.
Your fog usage.
It's getting late, guys. It's getting late. We're getting a little loopy here.
Sorry. Hey, it's us.
It's us. Yeah, we're just being ourselves. It's fine. Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people that are listening to this has probably already been to Knott's Scary Farm, and you're just going like, yeah, you're right. You're right. It is really immersive. So I think we're probably all in agreement that you should check it out. There are a handful of other shows that we didn't make it to. The shows we hit were the Haxton's performances and Puppet Up. Didn't want to miss Puppet Up. There is a show called Conjurings, which is a magic show at Birdcage Theater. What is it? Doce de la Noche?
I think that's how it's pronounced.
I don't know. I've seen it in the past. That's like the DJs and dancers and really vibrant area at the Fiesta Village stage. That one's a lot of fun. There's a show called Invitation to Terror that is a digital illusion horror show. I wish we had the time, but we didn't.
I know, because that sounds really cool.
It says, it's a digital illusion horror show which tells the story of millionaire Tom Shackelford, who is set to unveil the secret project that he promises will change the world. Set in Calico, 1986, the year I was born. Guests are invited to debut of Futuretronics, the world's top technology creator. Latest technological advancement. I have no idea what it is. Someone's gonna have to tell me what that was, or I'm gonna have to see it when I go back this season because that sounds really cool.
Put on by Futuretronics, I guess. So yeah, if you go and you have time to do it, let us know how it is.
Yeah.
And then Sarah, if you go back, go check it
out. If I go back, I'll check it out. I don't know. It sounds awesome. But alas, there's only so many hours in the evening. Wicked Drums was also, I read a friend's kind of review of it, that they said the drummers there were like really amazing. The storyline they said was like maybe a little confusing, but the drummers were like insanely good. And that's over in the Camp Snoopy theater area. So fun. There's way too much to see. There's also way too much to eat and way too much to drink. So you're going to have to kind of game plan. You either have to game plan it really, really strictly and you still aren't going to see everything. Or you have to do kind of like a general idea of what you want to see, like Ashley and I did, which worked out for us. And then just realize that you're not going to be able to eat all the good snacks and drink all the good drinks in the evening or see all the good shows.
And honestly, check out our routing that we did because it worked out really well.
It actually did work out really well because I think a lot of people, when they hit Knott's Scary Farm, they go straight to Ghost Town and then they turn past Ghost Rider to the left and hit those mazes. And it gets really crowded over there in that area. And it's like, okay, that makes sense. It's like the main, scare zone. But yeah, go right.
Yeah.
And then you'll hit the brand new maze before it gets too crowded. And you'll get to catch like the stage show stuff if it's the Haxons or if it's a freak show or whatever is going on there is like right in the middle and you kind of get to pass it and enjoy it a couple times. It works out pretty well. So
yeah. And definitely check out early in the season Sundays if you get a chance. Like we've gone every year and we lucked out this year of all the mazes. We only had 2 that weren't like a 15-minute.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good for GA pass,
And consider the Fright Lane pass if you're going to be going on a Friday or Saturday later in the season. If you're going in later October, you probably want to make the investment for the Fright Pass if you are wanting to see all the mazes. So if you want to just kind of visit more of the shows and eat this treats and maybe catch 1 or 2 mazes, like you might be okay. But if you're trying to hit all 8 of these, like definitely got to plan on spending a little more money. All right. Well, I think that wraps up Knott's Scary Farm.
Yeah.
Anything else to say? I think we said it and more than you maybe even wanted to hear. But coming up from us, let's see, we're going to be hitting a new haunt called Ventura County Fairgrounds. Ashley knows a little bit more about that. Ashley, you want to say a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a brand new haunt this year. I guess I should have my notes prepared, but I didn't. Sorry, guys. So from what I know about it, it is put on by a creative director that used to be a creative director for, I'm going to mess it up, but it was for Universal or not. So it was one of the big theme parks in the 90s. So that alone, they got industry cred right there. And it's in a few different installments. There are 3 different installments that all fit a narrative. I know that one of them involves a train. One's called The Cage. And I can't remember what the other one's called, but it should all take an hour. And just based on what they had said about it, it sounds like the concept was brought to whichever park this guy worked for way back in the day, and it was rejected like twice because they're like, we can't do that. So
it's like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
So that makes me like even more excited to do it because it sounds like there's a lot more free creativity with the grounds that they have now.
Yeah.
I know that they had said that one of the grounds, I think the second piece of the maze, is they have full free use of the fairgrounds, and including like the nursery where all the trees are. And even though it's very timed out as you're going through, and they know where you are as far as your small groups are concerned, you're like lost wandering. And
sounds like that's some of like the big things they were touting in the panel that you went to was like, it's
Exactly.
gonna feel like you're lost at the fair,
Exactly.
at a
And
creepy fair.
that sounds amazing. And they were just saying how with the location, you get a lot of natural spookiness, fog off the water. Like it just sounds overall really eerie. And while it's a brand new event and we're not totally sure what to expect, I think it just sounds like it has like a lot of potential to be really amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really stoked about it.
Yay! Yeah, thank you for finding that for us. That was
Yeah.
Ashley was working at Midsummer Screams, Awaken the Spirits, and they had a panel there, and she made sure to check it out when I was. I think I had to bail to go record the weekly creepy. So
Sarah
thanks
was
for
called to the job.
thanks for getting the intel for us on that.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
and also coming up from us, or that we'll be heading to, is Delusion, which now after going back to, we were talking about Creep LA earlier. This is something that's on that kind of same level as far as like immersion and storyline, and I am so pumped up and ready for it now.
Yeah, I think we needed the little creep before Delusion to like
Yeah,
get us pumped and like prepare
because
us.
I'm also a little scared.
Yeah.
Because I think we've talked about this before, but we went to their more, well, I mean, his Crimson Queen was kind of horror, but
I
Blue
thought it
Blade was more
was
adventure, like thriller adventure. And so people are like, "Oh, they're going back to their horror roots." And we were like, "Oh, I already thought it was kind of scary."
I was
So,
already terrified.
what do you mean back to the horror roots? Because we were kind of newbies. We've only been going a few years. So, I'm scared. Yay! So we'll
Yeah,
let you know if if we don't come back to the show, it's because we didn't survive Delusion.
yeah.
So
So
buy in advance if you never see us again.
report our missing bodies to the
Yeah.
authorities.
It's in Pomona probably, because that's where the event is. So our bodies will probably be in a basement of some scary mansion in Pomona.
Possibly in a coffin.
Possibly in a coffin, because I've been in a coffin before. So
Possibly in a wall.
I'm scared. I'm so pumped though. I'm so pumped, and I haven't gotten any spoilers because it already had its opening weekend, and I'm trying to stay away from it. I've seen some people even just give like really minor spoilers, and I'm like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I've seen some people post photos from going, and I'm like, I'm not even clicking on any photos.
Yep.
I don't want to
Nope.
know
Don't want to
anything.
see. I'll look at it all after. So wish us luck, guys. And I guess that brings us to the end of the show. We rambled for a while. I don't think we rambled. We're just really pumped up. I mean, we're getting like into the nitty-gritty of like haunt season. Like, we're running on caffeine and
We're not even in October yet. We're like in it.
yeah, we're in it. It's not even October yet. This is what we live for though. This is like what I look forward to all year. So
Yeah.
I'm pumped up, but I'm also like running on fumes already, which is a little scary. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us this evening and listening to the podcast. If you're listening to the podcast version. And if you like what we're doing, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Follow the Creepy Kingdom Podcast Network. And if you want to hear more about the Southern California region and what Ashley and I are doing at the Haunt List, you can also follow us at the Haunt List. Really easy. Keep it simple for you guys. So without, well, make sure to wish us luck. We hope to return for a future episode if we have survived Delusion. And I hope all of you stay haunted until we see you again.
Stay haunted, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, and thank you to our sponsors and Patreon producers for making this video possible. Hit the subscribe button so the creepy fun never has to end. This is Hannah reminding you to keep it creepy.